Where do we begin? You know what? Let me just actually just throw this over here. Screw it. So my Twitter feed is where I've been trying to like keep track of everything because either that or I'd have to like yeah. So let's oh boy, let's jump into all the news stuff, all the news feed that's been happening today. We will definitely pick and choose what we're talking about here and there. So again, like where do I even begin with all the news that's happening today? The biggest news, biggest elephant in the room of all this news stuff was the whole thing of the Bungie acquisition. Let's just scroll through. We'll get to all the other stuff, but this right here, absolutely thrilled to welcome Bungie to the PlayStation family. Bungie creates community-driven games with outstanding technology that are enormous fun to play, and I know that everyone at PlayStation Studios will be excited about what we can share and learn together. Now, this is huge. Yeah, this is actually pretty huge. Just a couple other things. Since I'm seeing a lot of folks saying it, I don't see a world in which Sony acquiring Bungie as a response to Microsoft, Activision, Blizzard. These deals take months, even years to put together and finalize, not 2 weeks. Yes, and that's actually one of the major points. Alana is hitting this right on the nail on the head right here of, yeah, this is not because like, oh, Microsoft bought one company, so we're buying that company. No, it's not. It doesn't work that way. Anyways, so today I am happy to announce this is from Jim Ryan, the CEO, president CEO of PlayStation, although Herman Holtz is like the president of Sony Interactive, not PlayStation. So Herman Holtz is the president of PlayStation. Jim Ryan is the president and CEO of Sony Interactive. So a lot of times it's in between Jim Ryan and Herman Holtz that are making these deals happen. Go through and happen, and they are the ones that are there with the and this also I wanted to actually talk about this too. So today I'm happy to announce Bungie will be joining the PlayStation family. First off, I wanted to be very clear to the community that Bungie will remain an independent and multi-platform studio. Now this right here, right off the bat, I see this only for a little while, and then it's gonna end up changing for sure. And publisher. As such, we believe it makes sense to sit alongside the PlayStation Studios organizations. Now, this whole thing, okay. So, Kojima Productions is still technically a indie studio doing their own thing, right? But if you look at Death Stranding, you look at all the studios that worked on Death Stranding. When you bring up the credits, there's a reason why the credits are like 10 minutes long for Death Stranding, because there was a ton of studios from PlayStation Studios that worked on Death Stranding to make it possible to make it happen. Now, there is a good chance that Bungie is going to have the same deal happening, where it's PlayStation funding that helps make brand new titles. But also PlayStation can go to Bungie and be like, okay, so you're part of the PlayStation family. We need this IP to have a really good, solid development team working on it. Can you guys possibly come and do this? Now, I have a few theories on what those IPs or those titles could possibly be. So this independent and multi-platform studio and publisher, as such, we believe it makes sense to it to sit alongside the PlayStation Studios organization. Now, what this means is that Bungie is definitely going to have a favoritism towards PlayStation, of course, because the money's there. But also, if they want to go into, it's like Destiny 2 ain't going anywhere. It's like the games that are already on the networks and everything, the ones that are games as a service, like your Destiny 2 and all that, of course that's going to stay on all platforms, because the user base, the installation base, everything is already there. There's no reason why they would shut it down or anything. Like, if people are thinking that, which there's probably a lot of people that are thinking that, that's not how the industry works. It's just, that's the total opposite of the way the industry works. It's going to be that your platform is going to still hold every right that every other platform does when it comes to the games that are already there. Now, anything brand new or going forward with like a brand new IP, or if there's a Destiny 3, then of course then it's going to be priority on the PlayStation, because now they're, Bungie is partnered with PlayStation. Where this helps PlayStation is would not have anything to do with Destiny really. Let's keep going though. Let's keep going. Spent a lot of time with Pete Parsons, Jason Jones, and Bungie management team to develop the right relationships where they will be a fully baked and supported by Sony Interactive Entertainment and able to do what they want to do, or what they do best. Build incredible worlds and captivate millions of people. Bungie's world-class expertise in multi-platform development, live game services will help us deliver on our vision of expanding PlayStation to hundreds of millions of gamers. Bungie is a great innovator and develops incredible proprietary tools that will help PlayStation Studios achieve new heights under Herman Hulse's leadership. Now, there's a lot being said right here. World-class expertise in multi-platform development and live game services. Now, there's 3 franchises that come to mind. And what was I just saying the other night of PlayStation really needs a good shooter developer, like somebody who knows how to make first-person shooters, especially, but also somebody who or a team development studio that can really specialize in making third and first person. Bungie is your people. It's funny that I just said this and then this deal gets announced. So what my thing that I'm thinking, the first 3 titles that come to mind. Bam. 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 So Bungie, I think, is going to be in the future going to be responsible for one of these titles. If not, like, I think Killzone and Resistance fall underneath Bungie's kind of like specialties. These 2 are the most kind of Destiny like. They are, kind of set in fantasy world and everything. This is definitely, Guerrilla Games is one of Guerrilla Games' babies now. Guerrilla Games, we all know, got away from Killzone to make Horizon. So if they want to come back and do the Killzone franchise, and I definitely see Guerrilla Games coming back to do the Killzone franchise. So that one's a little more off the table. Could Bungie bring back SOCOM US Navy SEALs? Answer is they absolutely could. They do have the experience to do it. And if SOCOM goes in a battle royale direction or a live, a game service or a live action game, whatever you want to call it, a game as a service, which that would make the most sense because SOCOM would have to rival Call of Duty at this point because Xbox has Activision, which has Call of Duty. So now Sony bring in the big guns to bring out SOCOM US Navy SEALs once again. That would make a lot of sense. Resistance Fall of Man was Sony Interactive Entertainment. That was the publisher. Who made Resistance? I actually can't remember who was the developer. The developer was Insomniac. Insomniac is making Ghost of Tsushima. So, shut down its online services. 2014 digital versions of the first 2 games released after the servers closed in Europe. I'm not sure where the license stands with this. I could definitely see. Again, when it comes to Killzone, I definitely would see Guerrilla Games come back to make Killzone, so I don't think it'd be Killzone. Resistance Fall of Man, that's a different story, though, because there's a lot of people at Insomniac Games that would much rather make a hack and slash than make a, like a lot of feel in Horizon is still kind of the Killzone feel. You're doing a lot of shooting. There's a lot of gadgets. There's a lot of big story moments that are happening there. So a lot of that feel is still there. So it feels like that development team still wants to kind of work on that story-driven kind of shooter-ish based type of a game. Insomniac is going full tilt the other way, where instead of it being very sci-fi military shooter, they are gone full tilt of going like samurai warrior meets mythological stuff. So in one way, Bungie I could see really fit in with, especially when Bungie's already worked with kind of the resistance feel of a game where you're fighting like alien creatures and such. This really feels like a Halo-esque kind of environment. I'm not saying that the game is Halo. I'm saying that the environment and the character structure and the way that the story gets told and everything is very Halo-ish. So the basically ex-employees that used to make Halo could end up bringing back something like a Resistance Fall of Man and really rival Halo at this point. That would be if Insomniac, gives it best wishes to do so and whatnot. That could actually be really cool bringing that back. Again, they could switch it up and go full on, modern day military and try and bring back SOCOM. That would be my two big guesses, that maybe they might work on one or the other of these. Either modern day military or try and come out with something that is, I mean, Resistance makes the most sense. As much as I would love to see SOCOM make a comeback, I think this might be what Bungie works on for Sony is Resistance. I would, if they can make Resistance really cool and make it really good and fun and everything, cool. Do it, bring it back, do the thing. So here we go. Here for a few words from Herman. I am absolutely thrilled to announce a new member will be joining the PlayStation family. I've been a huge fan of Bungie for years. I have admired and enjoyed the games that they create and have great respect for their skill in building worlds and games. Worlds that gamers want to explore again and again. Bungie makes games with outstanding technology that are enormously fun to play. They unmatched dedication to the communities that play their games. Everyone at PlayStation Studio will be excited about what we can share and learn from them, which is, very true. I have spent a great deal of time with the senior team of Bungie, and it's clear their experience and skills are highly complementary to our own, especially if they try and make, like a Resistance Fall of Man. We will be ready to welcome and support Bungie as they continue to grow. I cannot wait to see in the future. Yeah. Limitless potential. Bet big on our vision, on our studio. Yeah, because they're going to get like twice, 3 times the amount of funding that they've ever had before underneath the Sony umbrella. That's the other big chunk of this. Found a partner who unconditionally supports us and our accelerated vision, create generation spanning entertainment, independent that beats in. Sorry. Damn it on my nose. Like us, Sony believes that game worlds are only the beginning of our IPs can become. Together, we share a dream of creating and fostering iconic franchises that unite friends around the world, families across generations. Creative freedom since taking flight in 91. Okay, this is like the backstory of the Bungie company. Potential for our universes is unlimited. Our future games will take bold steps into unexplored spaces for Bungie, continue to push the boundaries of what is possible and always build a foundation of creating meaningful, lifelong friendships and memories. We remain in charge of our destiny. So this sounds like it's... Sorry, I keep messing with my nose, I know. So this sounds like definitely the same type of situation that Kojima was just doing too, which I definitely predict sometime this year we're going to see Kojima Productions is partnering with PlayStation also. Doesn't mean that they're being bought out by them. It just means that Sony is... It's like Street Fighter 5 was majorly funded by PlayStation and it became exclusive to PlayStation until it went over to PC. But PlayStation also, Sony works well with the PC platform. We all know this, which is the reason why it's like, okay, this game right here, I think this is one dumb move that Sony's making right here. So MLB The Show 22 is going to be, it's going to be on, I wonder if they even mention it in this. Probably not. It's going to be on the Xbox Game Pass shit, like day one. I'm like, why would you let it happen to be on there on day one? And it's also going to be on the Switch. Yeah, they do. I'd be more excited coming out on PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch. So technically MLB The Show is kind of like a third-party developed title at this point because it's not really on one platform at all. It's on everything. So to me, that makes it more of a third-party kind of title than it is a PlayStation Studio title. It's going to have the PlayStation Studio logo on it, of course, because it is technically a PlayStation Studio title, but it being on every platform. If it was just on PC and PlayStation, then that is the quintessential PlayStation Studio title. It being on the Xbox, that takes away from the PlayStation Studios exclusivity. It being on Switch just means it's on every platform at that point. So it's just another game, which it's a good game. And if there's more sales that come out of this, it's great for PlayStation and it's great for the consumer. I mean, it's a good thing all the way around. I just think it's dumb on Sony's part on this one thing that it goes day one on Game Pass. Outside of that, the sales are going to be through the roof on MLB The Show. It's great news on all that stuff. But the fact that you can play this day one on Game Pass when Game Pass is so cheap means that you're probably going to have a lot less turnaround and investment on the other platforms. You know, that's just the way it goes. You know, it comes down to if people play it day one on Game Pass for cheap, are they going to flip it into a full-on purchase? That's so yeah, that's again, it's a stupid move on Sony's part for that. I'd say what would make me say it wouldn't be a stupid move is if they said, okay, for the first month you cannot have it in Game Pass. You can sell it on the Xbox, cool, we double up our sales and everything. For the first month it cannot be on Game Pass. After the first month, sure, because usually sales figures run off the first month of sales figures, or the first week of sales figures. So having a day one there, like I said, just either which way you go, it's just really dumb. Either first week or first month, you know, one of those two. I would say don't let it be on Game Pass, so then you can get as much profit as the product can bring in, basically. And then after that, maybe the first week, and then after that, put it on Game Pass, and more people can check it out. If they want to buy it, then they can after that. But yeah, that's just kind of a really dumb move on Sony's part right there. But again, the Bungie news. This is really cool. Again, though, this is not PlayStation buying a publisher. This is PlayStation buying a developer. So it's still a different deal than, you know, the Activision Blizzard deal that went through. So if you're sitting there thinking, Microsoft bought that, well, Sony's going to buy that. It's still very different in the whole thing of how many studios and how many employees and everything that Sony is partnering with. They're not even buying them out. They're just partnering with them to make sure that Bungie can get more funding basically for their projects. And then if PlayStation needs a studio, like I said, to reach out to be like, okay, we had this IP called Resistance Fall of Man. Can you guys work on it? Then, okay, we actually get a new Resistance game. That's cool for everyone that's involved. If PlayStation is partnering to bring that to light, I would almost guarantee you it's going to be like a Street Fighter thing, where let's see here. Yeah, Death Stranding also, same deal there. Yeah, because Death Stranding is only on the PC, it's not on the Xbox. Street Fighter so Street Fighter is Capcom, of course. PlayStation partnered with Capcom to make Street Fighter 5. And then Death Stranding, Kojima partnered with PlayStation to make, you know, Death Stranding happen. So Bungie is just the next one. Like, this is just the next deal in that lineup, which is fine, which is super cool. So this is, I might go live for a bit and check this out. This is a state of play that's going to be happening for Gran Turismo 7. I'll check it out regarding co-stream and video on demand. Please note that this broadcast may copyright music. PlayStation does not control. Yeah. That's all right. That's fine. 2022 state of play arriving later this week. Yeah, it's like Wednesday, right? February 2nd. Just over 30 minutes of new PS5 footage and gameplay details in GTA 7. Watch February 2nd, Twitch and YouTube. 5 p.m. Eastern. I'll probably go live and check this out and do a little bit of a Let's Talk Live on it. Sure, why not? I am somewhat interested. This has reminded me a lot of like Need for Speed, so I'm curious to see what comes of this. I don't know. This could be cool. Again, I would love to see this be, if you could customize the inside and then work with like PSVR to check out, the inside of the car really thoroughly in PSVR. That'd be actually really cool. So yeah, a lot of like the old Midnight Club and Need for Speed stuff that we used to do, changing tires and everything. Now, this is pretty big news here too. OBS is coming out with version 27. I am absolutely using OBS right now, and we haven't had really no drop frames tonight. Holy shit. Yeah, knock on the woods and everything else. I think it was just the wicked snowstorm that was happening the last few days over in New York area that was really knocking the connection out. And of course, I was trying to do my Demon Souls run, which is the reason why I'm going to probably be short on the stream tonight, just so I can actually jump into my editing software and get up a lot of the VOD stuff that still needs to get put up on the channel. Anyways, so the biggest takeaway from this is AV1 encoding. All this stuff right here means that possibly my OBS could actually go 4K 4K 120, I do believe, which is really, really cool, because that could mean that we might possibly get some upgrades for Twitch and YouTube on their web player. That's awesome seeing that. Even though my capture card can't actually output that, if we have new capture cards that come out, then that's definitely, it's going to be ready to go. And of course, well, this is we're going to get into this in a minute, but this is another one too. I really kind of want to check this out. I kind of really want to try and get this going on the computer. This looks awesome. I think it was a full year or something that I kept seeing this popping up and popping up and popping up. A PS1 version that people made for Bloodborne. We can't get a 60 FPS patch update, but we can get the fans to come through and make, and we can't get a PC version of it. Fan software, I like that. But yeah, I would definitely, I gotta work on like getting this working, but yeah, I'm gonna probably try this on the PC sometime. It just came out, so Bloodborne PSX, go and check it out. It's totally a fan made, free to check out project, because it is a fan made project. It's all free to play. It works with a controller, and they have like a PS1 controller sitting there. If this was an ISO, I could probably run it a little bit easier, but now of course we'll get into the other one. So with all this talk of Bungie being bought out by PlayStation, now there's one other question that comes to mind, because Jim Ryan also said that there is definitely be looking out for, I love all this Final Fantasy stuff going on. Also Troy Baker, good man. Oh God, there's so much Final Fantasy stuff to talk about too. Also, congratulations, Ed Boon, for being inducted into the Hall of Fame, DICE Awards Hall of Fame. So one other deal. With all the stuff being, with all the stuff going down at PlayStation and Bungie, there's 3 other studios. And Jim Ryan literally said today that, in the future, expect more acquisitions to be done with PlayStation. Here's my predictions on who they're going to go for. I've said this before. I'll say it again. I'll reiterate on it. Number 1 draft pick for the 2022 acquisition of the year. I think this happens. I really think this happens. I think Square Enix with these titles right here, I think that is the next thing that Sony goes for. Square Enix, you got Final Fantasy. Nier is huge. What else? We got Tomb Raider, Just Cause, Life is Strange, Deus Ex. That's 6 giant franchises that Sony could end up partnering with, buy out, whatever the case may be. Now, the reason why I say Square Enix once again is because all these studios work together. One way or the other, the Luminous engine, the Unreal Engine tech that they work with to make either Final Fantasy 15, 16, to make a Stranger of the Paradise, that they push that off onto a third-party studio. But they are, the connections are still there between Koei Tecmo and what would be a PlayStation if that's, if they did make that deal go through. There's a Deus Ex team. You got your Tomb Raider team with Crystal Dynamics. Deus Ex is was it Crystal Dynamics or was it IO? I can't even remember who Deus Ex is made by. But they also have IO Interactive in there too, the Hitman franchise, and which is now going to be working. Their next big thing is the James Bond license. So here's the reason why I'm like, man, I really hope it is Square Enix. If you look over here, we have every one of the Final Fantasies are on here, right? Whoa. How did that do that? Hold on. Final Fantasy. So we have every single one of the Final Fantasies are on here. So we have FF7, the remake, the 14 online. We have the original FF7, the Crystal Chronicles, Type 0. We have Dissidia, 9, World, X, King's Tale, Zodiac Signs. We have pocket editions. We have the whole 9 yards on here. Strangers of Paradiso. Everything is on here Final Fantasy except for FF13. If you're trying to do a legacy run on PlayStation, you get fucked on that. You have to go over to the PC to run Final Fantasy 13. Some people don't like Final Fantasy 13. Some people love it. It doesn't matter whether you like it or hate it. It's the fact that it's not on here, so they're not making money off from the PlayStation platform for that, that title. Very unfortunately. The only way, I don't even think it's in PlayStation now. I've actually never checked. The only way you can do it is if you go on the Xbox platform, you go on the PC to be able to play FF13. I don't think it's on the Switch either. Oh god, how do I check the? Wait, I can do this. Hold on. Wait, where is it? Oh jeez, where's my? That's my collection. There we go. No, because it's not even on the network at all. Shoot. Yeah, let's see. PlayStation exclusives. Final Fantasy 12 sitting there. Sort by alphabetical order. Bang up job. Yeah, Final Fantasy. Every Final Fantasy is pretty much on here except for 13, like I said. So that would be a big win right there, just to get that trilogy over onto PlayStation. And also they could possibly do it's not that the place. So all the Final Fantasies are on Game Pass. I've definitely seen that, and I'm actually really liking that. I'm pretty sure the whole trilogy is on Game Pass. If maybe Lightning Returns isn't there, which is really cool. PlayStation Now, it would be really nice to see the whole Final Fantasy trilogy be on here. The only thing is FF13 is PS3, which is probably the reason why it's not on here. Now, in the future, we are going to be seeing the tier list of PlayStation Now get updated to where they could actually have FF13 on there. And any other games that came out around the PS3 time for Square Enix. Now, if they went and partnered with Square Enix or whatever, then that would definitely give a big boost in all the different Square Enix titles that might be missing from the PlayStation Network. Um, on top of that, Final Fantasy is kind of like Final Fantasy's home for like 20 years was PlayStation. It was a PlayStation platform. So to me, I just feel like it would be like, you know, you're bringing Final Fantasy back home if you were to bring it, you know, all Square Enix's titles. The home for Square was for the longest time the PS1, PS2, roughly PS2. Yeah. It started on the PS1. You know, that's where Final Fantasy really grew to be the household name it was. It was, you know, it was on other consoles before the PS1, but PS1 is where it just like boom, like that, it blew up. So Square Enix would probably be my top contender. My other one, and I've said this before, would absolutely be Capcom. I think Capcom and Sony work so well together. There's already the whole thing of like, you know, we have the Street Fighter 5 thing. Street Fighter 6 is absolutely once again going to be working with, you know, with Sony to get Street Fighter 6 going. Or Capcom's going to be working with Sony to make that happen. There's so much history there between Capcom and Sony that I could just see them finally being like, okay, Capcom, you have Resident Evil, you have Monster Hunter, you have Devil May Cry, and again, the reason why I say this is not because Capcom is a publisher, but because Capcom's developers is like Capcom Dev Team 1, 2, 3, and so on, and they all work together. RE Engine is a byproduct of all these studios working together to make RE Engine, and all the different projects are just byproducts of the RE Engine being pushed into different versions of the RE Engine. So that's why I'm like, Capcom is like one giant development team. That would make sense that Sony, it's fallen right into the rule book of what Sony's doing. If they don't buy them out, they would probably partner the hell out of them and make it so that a lot of Capcom stuff would come over possibly exclusively over PlayStation. That's the way I see it. It would either be, again, these are predictions more or less than like this is the way it's going to be, but yeah, who knows what's going to happen in the future. They might not even look at Capcom, but I would definitely see like Square Enix and Capcom being two of Sony's big, you know, eyeballed next acquisitions to happen. One other one that I could definitely see. From Software. So From Software is technically they are kind of a development team themselves. Also, they do publish their own stuff. I'm pretty sure. Like, is From Software a publisher or is it a developer? It's a video game development company founded. Okay, so for From Software, if Sony wanted to pick up From Software, I would say they would probably just outright buy them, and then they would actually be bringing like, okay, so Sekiro would still be sitting there on the Xbox, but Sekiro 2 would probably be PlayStation exclusive. But they could also bring back Armored Core, which I know that there's some people that would really love that. The Souls series would pretty much go to PlayStation as an exclusive series over on the PlayStation, which I feel like, and when I say PlayStation exclusive, I mean like PlayStation PC. So I feel like a lot of people play Souls games on the PlayStation, or they do it on PC, and then they do the some mods, not a whole lot of mods with it, but yeah, I feel like PlayStation is kind of like the place to go for Souls games, especially because From Software also worked with Sony to make Bloodborne happen. Bloodborne's still a PlayStation only platform game exclusive. So From Software feels like it'd be like a big one that Sony could really just be like, okay, we're gonna take the whole company right there. That's that one giant development team that makes a ton of money and a big success story right there. And plus also From Software's little game called Demon Souls. I just finished it up, and you know, yes, the remake is made by Bluepoint, but the original was exclusive on the PS3. So it just makes sense that From Software would be one of these companies that Sony's really looking at of going, let's grab them. You know, let's bring From Software on board, and let's give them all the funding that we can give them to make some of the coolest stuff, and possibly also then think about this. if From Software gets bought by PlayStation, there's a really high chance we're going to see Bloodborne remastered and probably even Bloodborne 2 or something end up happening. There's a super high chance of that because Bloodborne, again, is, it's a PlayStation mascot almost at this point. That's my big three. That's my big three predictions. It's going to be Square, Capcom, or From Software that you're going to see. I think Square would probably partner instead of getting bought out. I think Capcom might go the buyout route because they were already to that point of possibly getting bought out a few years ago, and they brought themselves out of the hole just to bring it back to where now they are like everybody loves Capcom once again. But Capcom can definitely have some management issues here and there. Like Street Fighter 6 has been having one hell of a time in development. From Software, I could easily see them again get like solely bought out and just go full on PlayStation with it because they're already kind of there. Bloodborne is exclusive to the, let's see here, Sekiro is not exclusive. Bloodborne, Sekiro and Elden Ring is not exclusive, but Bloodborne is. Armored Core is also exclusive on the PlayStation, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think it's on the Xbox. It could be, but yeah, that's definitely it's a Japanese studio working with a Japanese company. That makes a lot of sense right there. What else do we have for news going on? Oh, and then yes, Final Fantasy. 35 years of Final Fantasy. 25 years of Final Fantasy 7. I definitely remember back when, 35 years. Yeah, it was, Final Fantasy was around for about 5 years before I was born. I definitely remember my earliest member berries was seeing Cloud on the front cover of all the damn magazines for like PlayStation Magazine and PlayStation Underground and all that stuff. If I'm not mistaken, Ff7 was exclusive to the PlayStation. And that was 25 years ago. So I was roughly about 5-6 years old. I remember going to the grocery store and just I saw the trailers on demo discs for Final Fantasy 7, I do believe. And my first one I ever had hands on was actually FF8. And then I had hands on with Legend of Dragoon. I thought I thought Legend of Dragoon was a Final Fantasy game also. Didn't know any better back then. And yeah, so it's 25 years of FF7. It's and we are definitely going to be seeing. So they got. So Kitase is saying in this press release thing, they had a full live stream thing where they were going over all the different stuff of Final Fantasy 7 and where it was a 25th anniversary and a 35th anniversary of Final Fantasy stream. So they said they're working on 2 mobile games. The First Soldier. We're going to be seeing an update to Final Fantasy 7 Remake Part 2 this year, which is great. That's actually ahead of schedule of what everybody was thinking and what everybody was thinking we were going to be seeing. 2 mobile games, and then we have Strangers of Paradise, and then possibly some Final Fantasy Remake 2 Part 2 news. And then we'll end up seeing probably a teaser for FF16, I think. Although FF16 is definitely coming out next year. I think we might see, or not a teaser, another like gameplay trailer, like story trailer or something. We've already seen the teaser. We'll end up seeing probably like another like story trailer that really pushes forth even more of the story. Outside of that, Nomura is basically just saying, they're working on Ever Crisis, which is going to be a mobile game, which is pretty much like all the side games of FF7, trying to tell that in a mobile game format. And then once again, they're working on getting the teaser out for FF7 Remake Part 2. My prediction for that would probably be that we're going to end up seeing like Zack and Cloud working together, and then it's going to probably end on like the whole Aerith scene. Is it going to be? It's hard to say whether or not they're going to go like just Aerith sitting there, she's praying, and then the scene that's going to be, for those that know, they know, that type of situation, or if we're going to actually see it to where it's like, okay, Sephiroth is coming at her, Zack starts, or something. who knows? You know, Sephiroth and Zack have a stare down, and Aerith sitting in the middle of it or something. I don't know. Could be. I definitely see this being a remake storyline. So, yeah, we're definitely gonna be seeing something like that. Another one too is a big leak happened about MK12 is definitely happening. So yeah, and this too right here. Okay, so that's Cloud, Zack, and Sephiroth for the 25th anniversary logo. We are in a different timeline for FF7 now, which is really funny that people are just like dismissing that. Oh, it's just a remaster. It's like, no, it's a remake. It's on the front cover of the title. It's a remake. It's a different timeline. But yeah, there was a whole lot of stuff about MK12 happening too. I don't think, we don't have any information on it yet. So, took almost an hour to get through all the news stuff for today. Oh my God. So here's what we're going to do. I think I'm going to switch over to FF7 Remake, and maybe we'll just mess around with a boss fight.